All right, so chapter 2, section 5, I'm going to be honest with you, is all about examples of these river valley civilizations. And I'm going to give you some details, but it's not as important to me as that you remember these, as long as you remember the characteristics of a civilization. So, the earliest one, river valley civilizations, were where rich soils let us grow our crops, agriculture or farming. And around 3500 BCE, so a long time ago, the first civilization, which was Mesopotamia. And this was in what we call the Fertile Crescent, which is right kind of by where Africa meets the Middle East there. And this was, Mesopotamia means the land between rivers. So it's very obvious that it was in a river valley. It was able to flourish because we know that civilizations needed to be by water. So this civilization kind of flourished because they were able to use the river water to make canals and grow crops. They had wheat, etc. They used animals to plow. So all the things we've talked about, Mesopotamia brings them together, and that's why they were successful. The first vocab word, and an important one of this section, is a city-state. And a city-state is a political unit consisting of an independent city and land surrounding it. So city-states are independent kind of cities. So Benzee, Frankfurt, Traverse City, Elk Rapids, those would all be city-states. And they are all under the same umbrella, but they do their own things within a city. So much like modern cities today, a city-state would be different locations under the same big umbrella. So, what else do I want you to know about this? The next vocab word is very important because Mesopotamia was really good at a lot of things, and that's why they succeeded, was interregional. And the word interregional means linking two or more regions. So anytime you hear interregional, it means someone from one location doing something with someone from another. It's interregional, mixing of different locations. So they would trade interregionally to get what they needed, and again, that's helped them be very successful. And so chapter 5 is a bunch of examples. We got Egyptian civilization, and the Egyptians, used hieroglyphics, which is writing. They had pharaohs or kings, and they had what's called an absolute monarch, which means an absolute monarch is like a king or queen. It's ruled by hereditary, and heredity means bloodlines. So my dad was king, then I would be king. That's hereditary. So that's absolute monarch. And when you have a couple of those, it's called a dynasty. And a dynasty is a series of rulers, multiple rulers in a row from the same family. So these are things that the Egyptian civilizations had, and they were along the Nile River. We have the Indus Valley civilizations about 500 years later, and much similar to the two before then. Really flourished with creating a religion, and Then we have the Chinese civilizations. You don't need to know too many specifics about any of these. Again, you just need to know the characteristics of the civilization. So chapter 2, section 5 is all about these examples of different locations. We had the Indus River in India, the Nile Valley, the Egyptians, Mesopotamia, and the Chinese dynasties, all with slightly different characteristics, but very, very similar in why they flourish. So you can check this chapter out while you're doing your project, but again, not too many details from it.